friends and participants. I warmly welcome you to our Rotary Club of Waltair virtual session on mental health challenge. Your presence is greatly appreciated. Firstly, I would like to acknowledge the presence of our distinguished guests, our Governor Garu, Venkateshwara Garu, PDG Ravi Vadlimani Garu, PDG Vishwanath Garu, and many more presidents, past presidents. Thank you all for joining us today. To our fellow Rotarians, I am glad to see so many familiar faces. To our Rotractors, nice to see you all. Today's meeting is a wonderful opportunity to learn from our eminent speakers. Before we begin, let's take a moment to reflect the four-way test. Is it true? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendship? Will it be beneficial to all the concerns? These principles guide us in our personal and professional lives. Myself, Rotarian Devanand, in the capacity of President of Rotary Club of Waltair, hereby call to order the mental health session on 10th October 2024, 7 p.m. via Zoom. Nowadays, there are two major health challenges. One is heart health, one is mental health. Today, on the occasion of International Mental Health Day, we Rotary Club of Waltair thought of and brings to you the mental health challenge session. Nowadays, we see a lot of suicide cases and also a lot of heart attack cases even in the younger generations. When the research was done, it is found that mental health stress is the cause of heart attacks in our younger generations. Global mental health statistics says, as per as World Health Organization, 1 in 4 people experience mental health illness every year. 450 million people worldwide lives with mental illness. Mental illness affects 1 in 5 children and adolescents. Depression is the leading cause of disability worldwide. Anxiety disorder expect 300 million people globally. These are the statistics of World Health Organization. Today, lot of mental health issues are there in everyone and which should not be neglected but has to be addressed. Let us know more from our eminent speakers. Now I would like our Governor Rotarian Venkateshwara Garu to give his opening remarks.
Yes.
Yeah, nice to see you, sir. Good evening.
Good evening, Ravi Garu. Mano routine ga just if you define the health, మన health ఎలా define చేస్తాం? Health is a state of physical, mental, social, emotional, అలా స్పిరిచువల్ చెప్తాం కదా. దాంట్లో మెంటల్ హెల్త్ కోసం వచ్చేసరికి వెళ్ళాను. అగైన్ డెఫినేషన్ హ్యాస్ చేంజ్. మెంటల్ హెల్త్ డెఫినేషన్కి ఏంటి వస్తుందంటే సైకలాజికల్, ఇమోషనల్ కాంపోనెంట్స్, మన ఫీలింగ్స్ ఇవన్నీ కూడా యాడ్ అవుతాయి. ఎనీ డిస్టర్బెన్స్ ఆఫ్ దీస్ థింగ్స్ ఇట్ లీడ్స్ టు ది mental health illness అని అంటాం. Now the new terms have come. That is called mental fitness. If you call somebody as mental health illness, వాడికి థింకింగ్ దట్ ఇట్ ఇస్ సైకాటిక్ డిజార్డర్. అంచేతనే ఏమంటే మెంటల్ ఫిజికల్ ఫిట్నెస్ లాగే మెంటల్ హెల్త్ ఫిట్నెస్ కూడా నుంచి కూడా మనం మాట్లాడుకోవాలి యాక్చువల్గా. అది మీకు ఒక స్ట్రెస్ కానీ, ఒక ఇమోషనల్ ఫీలింగ్స్ కానీ, ఈవెన్ మన మహాభారత రామాయణంలో కూడాను అర్జునంతటి వాడు మనకి బ్యాటిల్ ఫీల్డ్లో అప్పటి వరకు ఎంతో బలంగా ఉన్న అర్జునుడు కూడాను ధనుషుడు కూడా మొదలైపోయాడు. సో మీకు అప్పుడు దాంట్లో ఉన్న శ్లోకాలు కూడా మీరు డిస్క్రైబ్ చేస్తే డిప్రెషన్కి ఏదైతే ఫ్యూచర్స్ మనం చెప్పుకుంటామో ఆ డిప్రెషన్ ఫ్యూచర్స్ అన్నీ కూడా అర్జునుడు ఫేస్ చేశాడు అనమాట. అది దీంట్లో మనకు ఒక సైకోథెరపీ గురించి మనం మాట్లాడుకుంటే లార్డ్ కృష్ణ ఈజ్ ది కౌన్సిలర్, అర్జున ఈజ్ ది రిసిపియంట్. సైకోథెరపీ తీసుకుంటాడు అనమాట. ఎందుకు ఈ కాన్ఫ్లిక్ట్ వచ్చింది? యుద్ధానికి రెడీ అయిన అర్జునుడు బ్యాటిల్ ఫీల్డ్ లో ఎదురుగా ఉన్న వాళ్ళ రిలేటివ్స్ ని, వాళ్ళందరినీ ఫ్రెండ్స్ ని రిలేటివ్స్ ని చూసేసరికల్లాను డిప్రెషన్ గురవుతాడు. ఎందుకు డిప్రెషన్ గురవుతాడు? మరి అప్పటి వరకు అర్జునుడికి ఆ ఇమోషనల్ ఫీలింగ్స్ లేవా? స్ట్రాంగ్ ఇమోషన్స్ లేవా? స్ట్రాంగ్ మెంటల్ హెల్త్ లేదా? దానికి కారణం ఏంటంటే ఎప్పుడైతే వీళ్ళు చాలా ఫేజెస్, అంటే మీరు వనవాసం తీసుకున్నా, అజ్ఞాతవాసం తీసుకున్నా, ఇంకా డిఫరెంట్ వాడు 11 years ఏదైతే వాళ్ళు ఇబ్బందులు పడ్డారో, మొత్తం అర్జునుడు పాండవాస్ మొత్తం ఆ ఎర అంతా కూడాను వాళ్ళు స్ట్రాంగ్ ఇమోషనల్ డిప్రెషన్ లో ఉంటారు. వీళ్ళు ఛాలెంజెస్ చేశారు. భీముడు ఛాలెంజ్ చేశాడు, అర్జునుడు ఛాలెంజ్ చేశాడు, అందరూ ఛాలెంజ్ చేశారు. కానీ అట్ ది ఎండ్ వచ్చేసరికల్లాను ఆటోమేటిక్ గా కృష్ణుడికి ఏమవుతుందంటే నేను చేస్తున్న తప్పేమో అని ఫీలింగ్ కలిగింది. సో దిస్ ఆల్ ది కాన్ఫ్లిక్ట్. సో తను ఫస్ట్ ఏదైతే డెసిషన్ తీసుకున్నాడు, యుద్ధానికి వచ్చిన వాడు యుద్ధం చేయకూడదు అన్న ఒక డెసిషన్కి వచ్చాడంటే తన మనసులో టూ మచ్ ఆఫ్ కాన్ఫ్లిక్ట్ రైజ్ అవుతున్నాడు. సో అట్ ది ఎండ్ మనం చెప్పాల్సి ఏంటంటే కర్ణుడికి పీపుల్ హ్యావ్ డిస్క్రైబ్డ్ యాజ్ ఎ నార్సిసిజం. కృష్ణ ఈజ్ ది బెస్ట్ కౌన్సిల్ ఇన్ ది వరల్డ్, అర్జున ఈజ్ ది రిసిపియంట్, అలాగే భీముడు, ఎవ్రీబడి హ్యాస్ ఇట్స్ ఓన్ ఇమోషనల్ ఫీలింగ్స్ ఉంటాయి అనమాట. లైక్ దట్ ఈవెన్ నౌ ఆల్సో, ఈవెన్ ఫీటస్ ఇన్ ది మదర్ వూమ్ దే ఆల్సో గెట్ స్ట్రెస్. అది మనం అర్థం చేసుకోవాలి. సో స్ట్రెస్ అన్నది ఇంట్రాయిటరల్ లైఫ్ నుంచి స్టార్ట్ అవుతుంది మన లైఫ్. సో అంచేత ఆటోమేటిక్ గా ఫిమేల్ బేబీస్ ఆ స్ట్రెస్ ని కూడా ఎక్కువ టాలరేట్ చేస్తారన్నది కూడా ఇంట్రాయిటరల్ గా కూడా ఫిమేల్ బేబీస్ టాలరేట్ మోర్ స్ట్రెస్ దాన్ ది మేల్ బేబీస్. అందుకని ఈవెన్ సూన్ ఆఫ్టర్ డెలివరీ ఆల్సో ఫిమేల్ బేబీ సర్వైవ్స్ మోర్ దాన్ ది మేల్ బేబీస్. ఈవెన్ డ్యూరింగ్ ఫస్ట్ 5 years ఆఫ్ లైఫ్ కూడా తీసుకుంటే వాట్ ఎవర్ ఇన్పుట్స్ వీఆర్ గివింగ్ టు ది బేబీస్, చిల్డ్రన్, ఎస్పెషల్లీ ఫస్ట్ 1000 days ఆఫ్ లైఫ్. సో దట్ ఈస్ ది బ్యూటీ ఆఫ్ ది సైన్స్. సో ఎవ్రీ బేబీ బార్న్ టు బి జీనియస్. ఎందుకన్నామనంటే సో వాట్ ఎవర్ ఇన్పుట్స్, గుడ్ క్వాలిటీ ఇన్పుట్స్ పాజిటివ్ ఇన్పుట్స్ మనం ఇస్తే, ఇంటరాక్టివ్ లైఫ్ నుంచి ఫస్ట్ 5 years ఆఫ్ లైఫ్ ఇస్తే ఆటోమేటిక్గా చైల్డ్ కూడా ఆ స్ట్రెస్ ఫుల్ లైఫ్ నుంచి బయటపడడానికి అవకాశం ఉంటుంది. సో స్ట్రెస్ ఈజ్ అ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ లైఫ్ స్టిల్, బట్ the children nowadays, many of the people that are unable to tolerate the stress, depression, anxiety. So there are many other emotional factors that leads to the many of the complications. So from the district 3020, my suggestion is, because most of the children they are habituated to the drugs now. There is also one form of perversion. That is one form of emotional disturbance. And the counseling of the parents, wherever the possibility is there, ask the parents to come to the, especially if a parent meets at the school level, you have to give some psychological inputs to the parents, so that they will not give stress to the child. ఇప్పుడు ఏమవుతుంది, ప్రతి పేరెంట్ కూడా చైల్డ్ 10th class లో అద్భుతాలు సాధించాలనుకుంటున్నాడు, ప్రతి పేరెంట్ వాడు ఫస్ట్ రావాలనుకుంటున్నాడు. ఆటోమేటిక్గా చైల్డ్ తెలియకుండా స్ట్రెస్ గా ఉంటున్నాడు. బీయింగ్ ఎ పీడియాట్రిషియన్, so I see a lot of cases of the stress in the children. Many of the time, most of the stressful events are the psychological, functional disorders. But parents దగ్గర ఎలా పిల్లలు బిహేవ్ చేస్తారంటే యాజ్ ఇఫ్ దేర్ ఇస్ ఏ మేజర్ ప్రాబ్లమ్ ఇన్ ది చైల్డ్. సో ఇలాంటివన్నీ కూడా మనం చూస్తాం. కాబట్టి దిస్ ఇస్ ద ఫస్ట్ సెషన్, దిస్ ఓరియంటేషన్ సెషన్. ఫ్యూచర్ లో కూడా ఐ విల్ టేక్ వన్ సెషన్ ఆన్ ఓన్లీ ఫర్ ది స్ట్రెస్ మేనేజ్మెంట్ ఆఫ్ ది పీపుల్. తర్వాత then many of the psychologists are there, psychiatrists are there, my friends are there, and Dr. Leonora Mohan is also there. She will also take some inputs from her friends also. So like that now we can design some roadmap for the entire year. This is the need of the hour now, because even the government are also strongly recommending the so especially even psychologist mandate, they're doing mandatory psychology classes for all the school level also now. If you take developed countries, every school has one psychotherapist, so that they will understand the psychology of the children, and so that now we can implement. So like that we can discuss many points. Now I request Devanand to take this session forward.
Thank you very much, sir, for your insightful, thoughtful talk. Now I would like to ask our Rotarian past president, of Rotary Club of Waltair Sachasri ma'am to kindly introduce our speaker of the day, Rotarian PDG Ravi Vadlamani garu.
Okay. Dear Rotarians, distinguished guests and Retractors, a very good evening to you all and a warm welcome. I deem it a privilege and an honor to introduce Rotarian PDG Vadlamani garu, one of our eminent speakers of today, the World Mental Health Day, on the topic Stress Buster. A senior partner in Uma Maheshwar Rao and Co., a great social worker, a staunch and a very active Rotarian since 40 years, Ravi Vadlamani garu has a very beautiful, long journey in Rotary. From being a Rotaract president, GSC team leader, president of RC Guntur, and district governor 3150. Ravi Vadlamani garu is an Arch Clump Society member, and he has addressed several international conferences, and he was the representative of Rotary International President several times. He has attended several international conventions, and he has served in various versatile portfolios and many major projects in Rotary. He bagged several awards like the Golden Globe, Service Above Self, Meritorious, and Distinguished Service Awards, and won many gold medals. And he has many other awards to his credit. Friends, I present to you all today an inspirational and an ideal Rotarian who is an asset to the Rotary world. Rotarian PDG Ravi Vadlamani garu, welcome sir, and thank you President for the opportunity given to me.
Thank you, ma'am. It is so nice of you. Thank you very much. Ravi sir, now the floor is yours.
Thank you, President Devanand. It's a great honor and privilege and pleasure to be a part of this lovely meeting, especially on the mental health and Devanand has been, we've been trying to come to your club, and I've been trying to come to your club right from his installation.
Thank you.
Somehow it was not possible, but it's nice to be meeting all of you on the Zoom platform. So today, I must first, of course, address the governor. I hope he's around. He's very busy, district governor, and my very dear brother Venkatesh Ravaru, and past governor Vishwanath, and all of you. And my learned fellow speaker who's going to speak after me. She is, of course, going to talk about the technical aspects of it. I'm going to talk about how Rotary is involving itself in the mental health challenges, and also how Rotary itself is a stress buster in the current society, where stress is a very important factor for mental ill health. So this would be my today's roadmap to talk to you and converse with you. I also see that there are quite a few question and answer session. We will also do that. That would be the roadmap for today's conversation with all of you. Once again, thank you, Rotary Club of Waltair and Devara. So, one of my favorite shows on TV is Coffee with Karan. One of my favorite actors currently is Deepika Padukone. I'm sure most of you also enjoy her acting and her talent and her beauty. And there was this show with one of the latest episodes for this season. And she was talking with her husband about how she went through a phase of mental ill health and depression. That really caught my attention. What is this? Deepika, such a beautiful lady, such an active, vibrant, vivacious, dynamic girl who's been one of the heartthrobs of this country, saying, I went through a very rapid depression and I was there, seeking support from my family, from Ranveer and all my friends to come out of the depression. I used to have blackouts. I used to have suicidal tendencies. I used to have anxiety. I used to have trauma. And Deepika talking all this was a big shock to me. Then I realized this mental ill health is there all around. Is there all around, which of course is not known to us, not seen by us, and most of the time not visible that those people are suffering from what we call as anxiety or stress or suicidal tendencies. It came to the fore in the Rotary world when two things happened. One, of course, when COVID happened, all of us suddenly realized there is a possibility of a huge epidemic coming up, and all of us can vanish without even knowing what is going to happen to each other. The world just stopped for 2 years. Rotary also realized that at this time there will be a lot of trauma in the citizens and the Rotarians' mind. Then, of course, a couple of years, last year, immediate past president brought the mental health into the fore by announcing that his project would be, taking care of the mental health and challenges. So then the Rotary world actually stood up and said, hey, here we can do something very serious in this very need of the hour for the society. Anxiety, depression is now happening and then happening at a very rapid pace throughout the society for various reasons. One of the main reasons, according to me, is the disintegration of the family system itself. When the family system has disintegrated and the joint family structure has disintegrated, we have realized that the solitary confinement, individuals working without any friends around, is one of the major reasons for depression. So I felt that what Rotary can do, what is Rotary doing through the world, and how Rotary itself is actually a stress buster. ఒత్తిడిని ఎలాగ తీసుకెళ్ళిపోతుంది రోటరీ అనే ఒక బ్రెయిన్ బామ్ అనుకుంటే, ఒకసారి మనం అందరం ఆలోచించుకుంటే, ఎగ్జామిన్ చేస్తే, వాట్ ఈస్ హ్యాపెనింగ్, వాట్ ఈస్ ద రోటరీ వరల్డ్ డూయింగ్, హౌ ఈస్ రోటరీ వరల్డ్ రియాక్టింగ్ టు దిస్ స్టిగ్మా. I particularly feel that there are 3 areas where Rotary can be involved very seriously. One, to break the stigma of depression, break the stigma of mental illness, break the stigma of the suicidal tendencies, especially in children. I must tell you, there is one Nasik Interact Club in Nasik. She has come up to the forefront in the world by her activity in trying to assuage the feelings of our counterparts in Interact between the age group of 17-16 because of the examination fear. The trauma of examinations in students, as Venkatesh Rao said, we must work in students, is one of the major reasons for depression and suicidal tendencies. In fact, most suicides happen during that period or that window period. So what is Rotary doing? Rotary has taken up the cause through the world in 3 major areas. 1, breaking the stigma. 2, sensitizing and enabling and making this mental illness to reach to others. And 3, of course, making accessibility and availability of counseling at a very close quarters. These 3 areas are very important to us for Rotarians. How does Rotary react to and break the stigma? There is a Rotary Club in Nigeria. Rotary Club in Nigeria have come up together and they ran and they are still continuing to run a campaign called Don't Bottle Up. Don't bottle up means you vent your feelings. If you have a feeling of depression, tell your friends, tell your brethren, tell your neighbors about your feeling of depression. Don't bottle up. So they ran this big campaign on the Facebook and the digital media by each Rotarian putting up a bottle, a closed bottle, celebrities coming and saying and showing the bottle and say, don't bottle up. A simple but an effective campaign being launched and being very run by the Rotary clubs of Nigeria. Similarly, there are other programs that are being conducted. What is called as a wellness black box program, especially in the school children. The school children are told about the mental health and how do you maintain the mental health. But how does Rotary act as a stress buster, which is our today's conversational piece? Rotary, of course, we all know that big research that Harvard University has conducted, where why do people live long? Why do people have happiness? And Harvard University, after doing a 84-year research, have come out to a big conclusion. And that conclusion Rotary knows from 1905 is if you have friends and if you have good friends around you, then you will live long. Then you will not have mental ill health. Then you will not have any depression. And Rotary, of course, is the biggest platform today and which is the strongest social network force in the current world. We offer friendship, we offer fellowship, we offer family, and we offer fraternity, and all this on a platter by just being a member, and we offer internationality. This, according to me, is the biggest stress buster. If you are a Rotarian, you know you can reach out to another Rotarian, and you know there will be another Rotarian to reach out to you to take care of you during depression. The very environment that Rotary creates in its meetings, the very environment that Rotary creates in its fellowship meetings, the very environment that Rotary creates in its conferences, the very environment that Rotary creates in convention, they are all stress busters, my friends. We don't realize that, but Rotary is one of the biggest stress busters because we offer the biggest social network in making friends and living with friends and friends converting into family. The second biggest reason, of course, is Rotary offers a platform to do good in the world. Rotary offers a platform to be kind to others. Rotary enables you to be kind to others. There are enough number of social studies, and I'm sure my learned speaker after me would agree that kindness and helping others are the two highs that will break depression. And Rotary is one platform which offers all this. You are enabled or you are empowered to think about others, you are empowered to help others, and you are also empowered to enable yourself to do good in the world. So I think that is one of the other reasons in serving others, is one of the big reasons in Rotary being a stress buster. Of course, Rotary also enables you to keep moving. We have Rotary clubs, especially Dr. Rao Garu has also designed a program to take care of footsteps, take care of healthcare, and take care of, you keep moving, you keep walking. There are enough number of groups. My own club has a walking group where every day morning 40 Rotarians come together and walk together to their health. So keep moving is one of the fundamental things to break your stress, or it's the biggest stress buster, and Rotary offers a platform to keep moving. We also have, of course, the feeling of being a part of something greater. The feeling of being a part of something greater is the biggest stress buster. And Rotary offers that feeling. Today, we all know, and we talk about polio eradication. We talk about we are nearly there, but we are there, and our contribution could be only small. But that feeling that I am a part of the larger goal of polio eradication. I am a part of the larger goal of providing water to everybody. I am a part of the goal to provide literacy to the entire country. This feeling itself is one of the biggest stress busters. So friends, these are the few stress buster things that Rotary offers. There are many more. The sheer internationality, the sheer friendship that is offered across the boundaries, and the counseling that Rotarians give during your stress and your turbulent and your tension times. Rotary certainly is a stress buster, and I would strongly recommend each of you to bring Rotarians and participate in this wonderful program. also one carrier working for mentally challenged, working for mentally ill health, or working for depressed people is not an easy job. If you want to be a counselor, then you have to, be very tough in doing counseling mechanism. I'm sure my learned speaker after me will talk about those things. Today, I just wanted to give you a bird view of what is happening in the Rotary world because of the initiatives taken by the immediate past president and what is happening. Rotary also has a fellowship group which works for the mentally ill health. We also have a Rotaract fellowship group. I heard that some Rotaractors are there who are working for the this particular cause. This cause working is only very nascent and very young in the Rotary world. While we do a myriad of ill health or health related issues, mental health is a very new thing which Rotary is working on. But it's a tough thing. People and Rotary clubs are now seized up of the matter. We are working towards providing good health. We are working towards being a stress buster. And the core values of Rotary itself are stress buster formula to its best. Thank you, Devanand. Thank you, friends, for giving me this opportunity. And of course, I would be happy to converse with you on your questions and answers.
Sir, I must say a big thank you to you, sir, because one small call I made to you, and it was great, kind enough for you that you have said, okay, that you are going to do this session, and you have been part of this session. It means really a lot to us, sir. Thank you for that, sir. And thank you for a wonderful, insightful, thought-provoking session, sir. It was a wonderful session, sir. Thank you very much. Now I would like to ask Rotarian Stani Garu to kindly introduce our next speaker, Lenora Mohan Garu.
Good evening, everyone. Am I audible? Hello.
Yes, sir. You're audible.
Yes, am I audible? Yeah. So thank you, President Garu, Devanand Garu. It's a joy to introduce Rotarian past president and past assistant governor, Lenora Mohan, whom we know as a lady with elegance who carries herself in such a manner that you will not miss her, in the sense the personality which she has been, being the past president, as past president of even Wiseman, the vice president administration, holding many chairs all through these years in Rotary, and then moving forward with her profession of actually doing the counseling with and running a Spurs center in Visakhapatnam is of renown. And being the child of an industrialist and being a Delhiite who had come to settle down back in Andhra, and getting married to a renowned plastic surgeon, a renowned doctor and an oncologist, Dr. Ravi Mohan, and being the mother of a doctor, physician, a daughter, as well as a promising engineer, her son. It's great that to introduce Lenora Mohan as a counselor, and as I said, with the elegance, actually, ornaments are not just worn, but the external behavior is an ornament. The way, the leadership qualities, the skill, the confidence that exuberates in her is sufficient enough to say that she has made a niche for herself in Rotary. And as already told by our past speaker, Vadlamani sir, it is great to be part of Rotary. And at this time, I would say that through counseling, Dr. Lenora has been spreading this humanitarian message of togetherness. And then we will be going ahead on this Day of Mental Health to be together for this cause of mental health. And then, as we know that the main characteristic of a counselor is to listen. And as we know that speech is silver, but silence is golden. And then to learn this aspect of listening, and it's time we are fortunate enough that all of us are going to learn the skill of listening and be Zoom counseled into becoming those listeners and understand the precepts of this psychology and how to behave ourselves, conduct ourselves and move forward in this society to make it better. I hope after this session, we all will be more equipped to do good in life. And with these few words, I'm thankful to all for choosing me to introduce Lenora Mohan and over to Rotarian past president and past assistant governor, Dr. Lenora Mohan.
Thank you, Stani. Thank you, everyone. Good evening to all the Rotarians and a special good evening to our PDG Ravi Vadlamani Garu. It was wonderful to listen to you. You talked about stress buster. Today, you might be wondering, as a mental health professional, I might talk about anxiety, their symptoms, how do we deal with them, depression symptoms, how do we deal with them? But no. If you see my topic, it's Together for Mental Health because mental health matters. We are one of the largest NGOs in this world, Rotary International. We belong to one of the best service-oriented organization called Rotary International. And being part of such a elite and such a beautiful community, I think we can do a lot when it comes to mental health. So today my session is only to sensitize ourselves. Sometimes we do not even know that our brother, our sister is going through depression. Sometimes we are not sensitized to understand what are the symptoms, what are the red flags they're exhibiting. Many cases you might have seen where a sister has lost her brother with whom she used to spend days in and day out, never realizing he committed suicide because he was going through depression. So maybe Rotarians, dear Rotractors who have joined us, the future Rotarians, I think we need to sensitize ourselves. And as a community of Rotarians, how do we help the immediate neighborhood community? Devanand Garu, can I share the screen, please?
Yeah, man, you can do by yourself. You are the co-host.
Yeah, can I share it?
Yeah, you are the co-host, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Can you all see it?
Yes, ma'am, we are able to see it.
Yeah, and you can hear. Okay, I think my voice is pretty loud, so all of you can hear it also.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about Together for Mental Health because mental health matters. Let's look at, we have a lot of definitions on the net. Just a minute, let me just. I think we'll include this. Yeah. Let's look at the definition. We have a lot of definitions on the net, but I felt WHO, the World Health Organization, defines it in the most beautiful way. It brings in the entire spectrum. Mental health is a state of mental well-being that enables people to cope with the stresses of life, realize their abilities, learn well, work well, and contribute to their community. Can you imagine the entire spectrum of a good mental health person is he should be able to have a mental well-being. He should be able to cope with stress, realize his potential. What is our potential? We sometimes have not realized our entire potential. We need to realize our entire potential. Learn well. We need to learn well. We need to work well with the team people who are with us in our corporate sectors, in our working teams. We learn well what we learn through everyday experiences. And the most important is contribute to community. That is what when we are talking about good mental well-being. So what is this mental well-being? How do we know if an individual is in a stable state of mental harmony? Am I in a state of stable mental harmony? Let me just discuss. Can I increase the screen totally? Okay, doesn't matter. Some thoughts, and let me talk about some thoughts and some attitudes that tell us that we are in a state of mental well-being. Believe me, no one ever is always in a state of mental well-being. But when I talk of am I do I have a tendency to feel happy? Yes, you can always say, are we happy always? No. There will be ups and downs. There will be times when we have some problems, some trauma. We will be low. But if we know tomorrow is going to be a beautiful day because today we were able to solve the problem. We solved the problem maybe in 1 day, maybe in 2 days, maybe in 3 days. But we have solved the problem. We have the tendency to feel happy. But what happens to a person in depression? Because I'm going to sensitize you in the coming slides. When a person is in depression, anxiety, he feels there's no happiness for him. He feels the world is all gray and black. So that's what I'm talking about when we feel we can be happy, when we feel confident, when we have a high self esteem. What is confidence? Confidence is nothing but the reaction of others to how we present ourselves. Our body language, our eye contact, all this shows their feedback gives us that needed confidence. But what is self esteem? Self esteem is when how we perceive ourselves, how we value ourselves. Person outside might be thinking, oh, Lenora can present well. But how do we know? Maybe my self-esteem is so low that I might not be very confident about what I'm presenting. So self-esteem is extremely important to have a good state of well-being. Practice self-care. Take care of your physical needs. What does this mean? Take care of yourself. If we are in a state of well-being, a good mental health attitude, we will take care of ourselves. We are going to dress up well when we step out into the society. Even simple things like taking a shower daily, very important to indicate that you're in a state of well-being. Things like taking care of your balanced diet. Are you taking care of your diet or you're overeating? Are you undereating or are you having no sleep, insomnia? All these indicate whether we are in a state of well-being or not. Do we have a social life? Many of us career-oriented, doing very well in life, becoming CEOs of various things, we forget the most important thing. Are we having a social life? What does that mean? Are we having friends? On weekends, do we go out? Do we have a hobby? When I talk about hobbies, it could be, are we doing something like painting, maybe golf, maybe just taking a walk around, maybe spending time in nature? Are we doing these things? Equally important to have a good social life, to enjoy hobbies apart from your own careers. Most important, be able to deal with painful feelings. Many of us go through these feelings. We're all alive, we're all dynamic human beings, so we experience pain, pain of loss, pain of deaths, pain of so many things. But most of us are able to get out of it. We find solutions and get out of it. But those of us who cannot get out of it go into a spiral wheel of ill-being, not mental health. So let's find humor in life. Are we finding humor? How many of us are able to sit and laugh at the end of the day? When we talk about fellowship, as Ravi Garu was talking about, it helps to bring in humor into our life, that socialness. When we meet in an organization, are we able to adapt to change? Are we able to cope with adversities, adapt to change? Sometimes we have to change jobs. We have to change neighborhood. We have to change places of work. Are we ready for it? Sometimes as single families, tomorrow our children get married. We have our others coming into our family. Are we ready to change? Are we able to adapt to change? All this indicates what kind of state of well-being we are. Now, most important, this is again to sensitize us. I just want Rotarians and dear Rotaractors to know how fast this epidemic is moving into our society. In India, according to some statistics that I downloaded from the net, 2016, only 5.1, I won't say only, it's a lot, but 5.1% population had some kind of mental disorder. But within a year, 2017, it is 14.3. Can you believe it? Can you imagine? Within 1 year, what is the jump in the percentage? They say about 15% of the population has some kind of mental issues in our country. According to WHO, the economic loss because it's not being addressed in our country due to the mental health condition between just 2012 to 2030, I think it's going to be just 18 years, they're estimating at the rate of $1.3 trillion we are going to lose. What a massive this thing. Are we paying attention to these statistics? Some interesting facts. according to the Global Mental Health Report. Do you know the present tourist area, Uzbekistan? It's one of the most miserable countries according to statistics said. Next, followed by UK. And can you imagine the countries with best mental health? These are all the statistics I'm talking about. It's the Dominican Republic, Sri Lanka, Tanzania, Panama, and Malaysia. Isn't that interesting to note? Some more statistics. Can you believe it? And this is for us, dear Rotarians from Andhra Pradesh. Among depressive disorders, the highest is in Tamil Nadu, 4,796 per 1 lakh population, followed by Andhra Pradesh, which is 4,563 per 1 lakh, then Telangana, then Orissa and Kerala. So, dear Rotarians, what does it tell you? I think we have a lot to do when it comes to mental health well-being. India faces another reason why it's increasing is India is facing an acute shortage of trained mental health professions. Only 0.75 psychiatrists for 1 lakh people. Why I'm giving you the statistics, towards the end you'll realize, as Rotarians, what is it we can do a bit? Obviously, we can't go into the masses and become counselors. We can't do. It's a massive task. So what is it as Rotarians we can do? And this is where I would like to ask the clubs at the various in the district to participate. We only have psychiatrists, which is about 0.75. And psychologists, I believe, is just 0.03. According to WHO, we have the highest rate of depressive disorders. And nearly 150 million Indians need active mental health intervention, according to the National Mental Health Survey, 2015 to 2016. 150 million. Do you know something very, very sad? Highest rate of suicide is in India. Can you imagine that? So I have put this slide as invisible menace. It's an invisible menace. Many of us are not aware. Many of us are not aware of what's happening in our community, in our own family, amongst friends, our neighbors. What could be the reasons? Very quickly, I can just give you the reasons is social stigma. How many of us know the difference between a psychiatrist and a psychologist? A psychiatrist treats mental disorders with drugs, schizophrenia and various other things. A psychologist treats only psychological issues which are temporary, time limited. It could be stress, it could be anxiety, it could be feelings of suicidal tendencies. But these are time limited. It doesn't affect the mental health of a person. But people all think, in the words of Telugu, pichol anukuntaremo, so better not go to a psychologist or a psychiatrist. That's sad. So what is needed? Education, awareness is needed. Rapid urbanization, industrialization. We all know in the villages, we had the poopa poopi, we had the nana nani, all of them taking care of counseling when they counsel their elders, when they counsel their families. But what's happening because of industrialization? People have migrated to the cities, semi-urban areas, unit families, living in unbelievable conditions, no one to talk to. So depression, anxiety, panic has come on the rise. Underreporting. People are not reporting because statistics are being conducted, but people act as though they're normal. So no standardized training. As psychologists, we are given proper tests, how to test out our clients when they come. But so anyone will say, I think he's in depression. Maybe he's not in depression. It's just a low feeling. But that's a wrong way of analyzing things. Insufficient mental structure. Now, that's an interesting thing. What do I mean by insufficient mental health structure? Like I said, very less psychologists and psychiatrists were trained. Socioeconomic stresses. What are the socioeconomic stresses? Gender inequality. So much of difference between male and female, how they are treated. As Dr. Venkatesh Rao Garu, DG, was talking about, we know that our women after delivery go through something called postpartum depression? How many of us are aware? How many of us are educated for this? We are all educated people, but we are not aware of it. It has made many mothers commit suicide. As simple as because of the massive hormonal swings. A mother who gives birth sometimes is unable to take it. And family, husband, unable to understand, they feel sometimes they're not able to give her emotional support. So postpartum depression has taken so many mothers away in their youth. So how about so many other things, like even when we talk about domestic violence, sexual abuse? It is so sad, dear Rotarians, in my clients, the clients who come to me, people from good families. I'm not talking about slums, I'm not talking about the villages. People in good families are being exposed to sexual abuse, and they are not able to come out from that closet. So they need help. If we are aware of what's happening in the community, what's happening in the neighbor's family, if we are aware of what's happening in our own family, we may be able to help out such people. Pandemic. You all know COVID-19. It's only after COVID-19 the world gave importance to mental health, because there was nearly 25% increase in depression. Mental health professions were started committing. In healthcare workers were committing suicide, unable to take that pressure. Cops were committing suicide. Students, in Hyderabad, once I was asked for an interview because I was in Vizag, and 4 to 5 students right after the 12th class result was announced committed suicide in Hyderabad. What kind of pressure are we giving our kids? What kind of pressure is society giving? We have a role in technology. There's something called telemedicine now coming in. There's something in online counseling. Telemedicine, I remember my daughter often gives telemedicine. In villages, there'll be one guy sitting and people can come, and within 3 seconds, just normal fevers and all, you're able to give them some medicines and all which will help them. But how many of us are aware of it? How many of us are aware that this is existing and it can reach out to the villages, it can reach out to the semi-urban places? And the last, I think, is government role. Many acts have been given. According to this, there's one act called Mental Health Care Act 2017. It was implemented for this. But is there any follow-up? Maybe as Rotary, as big organizations, we need to help the government in follow-up of such acts. Final thing, I would like to now talk about what is the role of Rotary. Do you know, friends, one of our biggest organizations in this world is Rotary. Yeah, we have Lions Club, we have others, but I feel Rotary is a very dedicated organization when it comes to service. So what are the things we can do? And this is where I would like the clubs to pay attention. Maybe you can come up at the end of the session and we can help. Our district governor's dream, let me share with you. He wants it in the next 9 months. The kind of programs each club in this district comes up with will have a snowballing effect, so that people will talk about District 3020 as doing fantastic work in the community when it comes to mental health. So much so it should go into the international arena also for what we are doing. So, dear clubs, dear presidents, do help us in this, making our governor's dream come true. We can have public awareness programs, have rallies on your beach, have rallies wherever you are, in various places. Organize school programs. Now you'll say, how can Rotary do? We are not counselors, we're not trained profession. Let's organize. Instead of one day, International Day of Mental Health, International Day of Women, that's too less to create an awareness. Let's have a week's program in schools where they talk about mental health, where they'll create charts, where they'll talk about things, call in people who will talk about mental health, call in professionals. So let's make it a week-long program in schools, in colleges, maybe even the corporate sector. Community involvement. Most important, Rotarians, we are very good at working at the grassroots level. Let's start with the grassroots level. Let's coordinate with the PHCs. PHCs is the immediate primary health centers, which are immediate targets for our rural population. Let's train people in PHCs so that they can do kind of layman counseling and bring them to other city level. Then we talk about integrating traditional and modern approaches. Now, this is a modern trend that's going on, and it's very nice. What is traditional? Traditional is nothing but yoga. Traditional is nothing but meditation. Traditional is nothing but mindless meditation. So how about integrating the traditional into the modern approaches of drugs, maybe, of proper schedules and routines that we follow? I have started doing it. I tell my clients to go into this traditional approach because it helps a lot of people. Next is education and training. How about training some lay people to go into the urban area, to the rural areas, maybe once a week, maybe twice a week, and talk to people who need help? or sensitizing the villagers so that they can understand if some mental health issue is in their family, educating them. I think the next one is very important. Public-private partnerships. Do you know there are very big organizations like Manas Foundation, the Banyan, the Minds Foundation that is doing a lot of mental health work? How about as Rotary? How about as NGO organizations? Partner with them, find out from them what is it we can do, what is it we can help out, so that we partner with them and reach out to the masses, to the immediate community. Let's organize group talks, maybe in places like YMCA and other places which have rooms available. Let's call in people from the immediate community and talk to them and sensitize them about what is mental health. It is not a stigma. It is something that can be solved provided we talk about it. So let's provide opportunities for laymen. Let's use our online platforms. Rotary is very good in adopting villages for current, electricity, water. Let's adopt one or two villages or tribal areas and see what we can do in those areas when it comes to mental health. We are good at raising funds. Let's work with professionals, mental health professionals, and see what we can do with the society. So these are some of the things role of Rotary can do. Now, this is the final thing I want to talk about. Yeah, we are an NGO, we are a great big organization, Rotary International. So we will be addressing the community at large. But how about our own selves? How about our own families? How about the neighbor next door? How about your friends whom you're sitting with, you're hearing, but you're not listening? So let me just say some of the signs and symptoms, even if you're having, and believe me, friends, it can't be like I never have these kinds. It's the other person who has it. No, we have all gone through this kind of mental health issues. Some of the simple symptoms, some of the red flags, I'm not covering the entire spectrum, is feeling sad for no reason. Do you know one of the bottom lines as psychologists we say, if any of these symptoms last for more than 2 weeks, because sometimes we do feel sad, it can stay for a day, 2, maybe 4, 5 days, but more than 2 weeks, if the symptoms continue, I think it's a red flag. I think you need to take help. It can be a family, it can be your friends, it can be a professional, but do not neglect it so that normal mental health problem does not become a disorder. So that is important. Okay, so let's look at some of the red flags. When we feel sad for no reason, not able to concentrate, that happens. Often we can't concentrate, but when you feel this normal concentration has come down, when you're confused and forgetful, when there's excessive fear and worries, when there's extreme feelings of guilt. You know, I was counseling a client, the girl, IIT graduate, getting fantastic jobs in Chennai and Bangalore. Just a minute. You know why she's not leaving? She's in Vizag. She says she cannot leave because her parents are old. So she has heavy feelings of guilt. They took care of me, ma'am. Now it's my turn to take care. What does that indicate? As children, we sometimes need to go, but sometimes then becomes that extreme feelings of guilt which prevents us from going up in our career, being with our own families. Sometimes strong mood swings. Suddenly you feel happy and suddenly you're feeling sad is also a red flag. Crying. This is one of the major causes which tells us could be a symptom for depression. When you're sitting in your room and you're sitting and crying, when you don't reason, when your parents or when your family asks what is the reason, you yourself don't know what is the reason. Constant crying. Behaving in a way. Sometimes they come and say to me, ma'am, I don't know why he's behaving totally different from his personality. Social withdrawal. A person who was an extrovert suddenly decides he doesn't want to step out of the house, wants to sit in his room, just wants to watch TV day in and day out, not wanting to do anything. Sleep problems. Alcohol and drug abuse. When drug abuse, I'm not talking about other drugs. I'm talking about not psychotic drugs. I'm talking about taking painkillers, overdoses of painkillers because you're having all kinds of headaches and body aches. Body aches is also a very important symptom of continuous body ache is symptom of depression. Extreme tiredness, extreme low levels of energy, changes in eating habits, excessive anger, suicidal thoughts. You know, this is one of the major things I always tell anyone in your family, anyone in your neighbors, if just says, I don't know, I'm so sick of life, I just feel like sometimes committing suicide. Don't laugh it off, friends. Don't say he's just a thought. Sometimes we laugh it off and joke about it. Just the word feel like is important red flag for you to look into it. So hallucinations, all these are the latest symptoms of poor mental health. What could be the risk factors? Now, this is another attention grabbing thing. All of us do not get into mental health problems. They could be either, these are just a few thoughts and suggestions. It could be a history of mental illness in the family. Maybe someone in the family, parents or some, has suffered through depression, anxiety, some stressful life situations, death. It could be death, maybe sudden death, sudden change of job, being thrown out of the job, which happened during the pandemic. So it could be an ongoing chronic illness. It could be like a diabetes, Parkinson, which comes into elderly. Something, during pandemic, my grief counseling became so much because geriatric population depression became so much. India people are living up to 80, 85. They have become suddenly low. There are no children to take care, and they are going through serious depression due to brain injury. It could be some traumatic experience, some childhood history of abuse, some previous mental health. All these are risk factors. So some of the helpful things, you might say, so how do we help ourselves? How do we, if mental health illness has to come, it can come because of traumas of various kinds. But what are the best suggestions I can give is go for a regular exercise, dear friends. Walk every day, at least a minimum of 40 minutes. Whether you're old, you're young, all of you, regular exercise is important. Hit the gym at least 4 times a week. Eat a balanced diet. Don't eat carbs. Try to eat a protein healthy diet. Stay hydrated. Drink a lot of water. It helps. Quality sleep. Pursue a hobby. Have gratitude for what is you're getting. So what I mean by gratitude is every night before you sleep, think of all the good things that you've had. A roof over your head, good food, a family. That itself gives you a positive mental feeling. Have positive interactions, relaxation. Find a purpose in life and spend quality time in relationships. Then the final slide I would say is, can I, as an individual, help others? Yes, it's not just me or a psychiatrist or a psychologist who can help others. We need to develop some skills, and these skills can come in any one of us once we become conscious about it. Active listening. Do you know what active listening is? Many of us around here might be watching me talk, but some of us will be actually listening actively. Some of us are able to understand what she's talking about. When your friend is talking to you, you might be busy doing something and saying, okay, tell me what is it? Yeah, I understand. What's your problem? No, that's not active listening. Active listening is when you understand what is coming behind what that man is communicating. And when you communicate that, I understand, actually you're unhappy about this, isn't it? That's the reason you're talking about this. That is active listening. Empathy. Don't have sympathy when people discuss their problems. Have empathy. Step into his shoes and see how he's perceiving it. Non-judgmental, which we all do as counselors. What do I mean by non-judgmental? We get so many clients having live-in relationships. And coming from a generation previous, we might just think, live-in relationship, is it good or bad? No. We go from the client's shoes, from his perception, to understand what he or she is going through. So let's not be judgmental. Let's have self-awareness that yes, I'm being judgmental. I might be judging when a couple comes for marriage counseling. I might be siding with the woman or the man. But no, the self-awareness that I might be putting myself into their shoes is wrong. Oh, it happened to me, so I think you're right. So let's keep judgment to one side. Confidential. When someone, a neighbor, a family, your child, your son, your daughter talks to you about something, keep it confidential. Don't go and discuss it with others. Have patience and observe. As Ravi Gar was saying, Deepika Padukone, I don't know how it happened. Even I have quoted her here. No life should be lost due to mental health. So I just took these 2 little things which were very nice at the end. Mental health problems don't define who you are. There's something you experience. You walk in the rain, you feel the rain, but you're not the rain. You feel you're in depression, you have anxiety, you have suicidal thoughts, but you are not that. It can be solved. Mental health is not a destination, but a process. It is about how you drive, not where you're going. Thank you so much. I hope in some way I am able to sensitize some of our Rotarians and Rotaractors so that we can go ahead and do something. After this, we want to have a small little interactive session where if any clubs or any PS person has thought about something that we can do, our secretary Prasanna Garu will just note them down. Kindly give your name of the club and your name so that we can just keep it. And maybe we'll get back to you after a week or 10 days or 15 days according to DG's convenience and see what this District 3020 can take us when it comes to mental health well-being. Thank you so much.
Wow. What a session, ma'am.
Thank you.
Nice. So nice to hear from you. We can see the in-depth of knowledge what you're having in this mental health. Great to have you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. And great that you will be a part of our club, ma'am. To have a eminent person like you, it's a great thing.
Thank you. And I'm happy we are having DG also with us and
Yes,
all the group of Rotarians here.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
DG is completely on the show. He's completely, fully hearing everything else from what we are speaking. Now, I would like to have a small interaction session with Lenora Mohan Garu and our Ravi Vadlamani Garu. Whoever wants to speak or want to have any questions, kindly raise your hand. We will be unmuting you. We're giving you the chance. Please say your name, your club name, and to whom you want to speak. Yeah, now you can speak it off. Whoever wants to speak or have any questions, please raise your hand.
Suggestions also what we can do at the district level.
Yeah. Everything is going to be open for that.
Yeah, I have a question to ask. This is Prasanna.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ma'am, this question is to you. I just wanted to know what do you think has changed if you compare, to the previous generation and the current generation, and what has actually changed in the society that there is a lot of mental illness that we are actually seeing on a daily basis, and we get to hear so much. Since you also mentioned that we top the ranks when it comes to the suicidal rate. So what do you think actually has changed? Was it existing before and there's no news about it, or has it really changed and we get to hear so much these days? Thank you.
Yeah, Prasanna, it has increased. Its level is increasing simply because the two most important pillars in our society, what are they? School and family. Okay? Family is not doing its role when it comes to taking care of its young, taking care of its elders. We are so busy working. We are so busy trying to bring in luxury goods for our children. Good. No one is saying don't do it. We want to see that our child goes in a Porsche, maybe then they will want to. We want to see our kids in public schools rather than government schools. Fantastic. But in this process, somewhere we are missing out on quality time with our children. With these phones that have come, where there's everyone in their own life, I think we have missed out a lot, which family is the most important unit and has not given that support to its this thing. Compared to that, the rat race, all competing in every way. It has created a lot of health issues, mental tensions, stress.
Thank you. Thank you.
I have a question. Can I speak?
Yes, sir. Please go ahead, sir.
Good evening. Sorry, I joined very late because I had a very important meeting, and I took my apologies from Lenora also. But soon after completion of my other meeting, I joined, and I know Lenora does a good job. And Ravi, of course, himself is a great speaker. I have a question to our past president, dear Lenora ma'am. Ma'am, can this be kept as a curriculum subject in the schools, maybe from 7th standard onwards up to +2 or degree? Because these kind of mental issues to be taught by the teachers in the subject matter itself, so as to prevention is better than cure. Will it be possible that the governments would proactively get into this kind of a situation where let us take care of the situation from schooling days or intermediary +2 days? Can you answer? Can you throw light on that, ma'am?
Ma'am, please unmute yourself.
Absolutely, Srinivas Garu, as suggested, it's actually this is where Rotary steps in. We cannot be counselors, we cannot go and counsel the masses, but we can help work with the government to include it. Remember, during our time, we had moral science classes. We had books on moral science. Then, what is that ES study? Something which we started. Something like that. Include, sensitize right from the childhood. If we can sensitize our kids right from childhood about what is mental health, what is positive mental health, how do we associate with people having a positive attitude, it definitely will help. So this is one of the areas where as clubs we can participate in bringing about this change. Sure, this is one of the best good suggestions.
Any more?
Yes, Keetika.
Thank you, Lenora. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Srinivas Garu. Any suggestions how as clubs we can bring forward? Because I want to fulfill, all of us want to fulfill our DG's dream. He went into mental health fitness and health fitness, and now let's go into fitness.
My suggestion is speak to the management of some of the schools or colleges where we have some kind of, at least people have to listen to us, that even if you want to give free classes, nobody is going to accept nowadays. But since this is a very important subject, where we have some kind of a say, like some colleges or schools, that ask them that, to give us time so that people like you who are really equipped with this subject, and even Ravi also, of course, we can present these topics to the children. See, we cannot totally, see that the solution comes overnight. But at least if we could save few individuals, if we are helpful to few individuals, it goes a long, long way from the Rotary side and from experts like your side. That's what my suggestion is.
Thank you, sir.
Have you noted it down, please?
Yeah, I did.
Any more members want to speak to
Ma'am,
both of our...
Sir, I want to.
Yeah, please go ahead, sir.
Yeah. Ma'am, since you were asking for a suggestion, I was just thinking, why not, since we are a very big organization internationally, why not we consider creating a chatbot or using the artificial intelligence where somebody in distress could just reach out to, a number which is being handled by the bot, and if necessary, it could really connect it to somebody who is, good at counseling or whatever, generate the red flags whenever required. Maybe we could work on something like that, because that could be of some help. Where you mentioned that we should not be looking at judging the person who is going through a problem, and all of those things can be removed when we are looking at a AI kind of a model.
Why not? I think that's also very interesting, Prasanna. And but in this thing, the only thing is, if AI handles it, fantastic. Otherwise, if we need any human psychologist, then we'll have to take permission, because many won't accept. It's a kind of full-time work.
Yep.
But as you say, in the AI,
to start off with somewhere.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Anything else?
So now, thank you all. Thank you one and all for your question and answers for the session. Now I would like to ask
just a minute before we finish. I just want to suggest, we hopefully, if DG Gar gives permission, maybe in another 10 days or 15 days, we'll have another meeting with the club presidents. And if we can come up with some suggestions, see, every drop makes an ocean. We all heard of it. At least we can make a sea, or if not a lake that can become a snowball effect. So can you all send it to either my email address or DG Gar address or something, and give us some suggestions which we can take it up at the district level and do something. It's not just this talk, dear Rotarians. It is, what is it we can really do to reduce this epidemic that's spreading so quickly in our society. So that's the main idea. So please do come up with the suggestions in the next 10 days, and let's see what we can do about it. Thank you. Yes, Devananda, please.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I would like to our Governor Venkateshwar Garu to make closing remarks, sir.
Yes, thank you very much, Vadlaman Ravi Garu, for especially importance of the stress busters, especially during our Rotary journey. And as usual, Dr. Leonora Mohan, she spoke very well.
Thank you.
And my important remark is, there are many questions to be answered. The one question is the ultimately for any individual, three things are important. One is health, second one is wealth, third one is relationship. The three important for the strong mental health. Why? Because even any person has good physical health, if there is no wealth and relationship, then the person is in immediate is in a stressful stage. For example, if any person has good wealth, but there is no physical health and friendship is not there, then his life is also at stake now. The third thing is, any person, even though he has good health and wealth, without any good friendship and relationship, then many people, even wealthy people, after the age of 60 years or 65 years, 65% of the individuals are in depression mode now. Because though they have good health and wealth, still because there is no relationship, friendship, they are also in depression mode. Second thing is, as Prasanna asked one question, what is the generation gap? Earlier, really the incidence of the mental health illness is increasing day by day. Especially post-COVID, it has increased peak levels. Because now everybody at home level, so they are not connecting to the friends. So everybody is feeling depressed. Many people have lost their jobs. Many people have lost their lives in their families. So that there is a significant mental turmoil in every family. So what is the basic difference between the earlier and now? The current generation, they are thinking about the two things. They are in confusion between the life and career. Life and career. So people who are focusing more on career, they are ignoring the life. People who are focusing more on life, they are ignoring the career. If there is any balance between the life and career, then the things will be smooth. Because many of the times now, even there are people, especially parents, are facing big problem now is early marriage and late marriages. In the rural areas and tribal areas, it is the early teenage pregnancies. It causes a lot of problems to the parents and the child, the teenagers. And because of the late marriages, there is a very high problem of infertility and other social problems. So what happened, many of the times, women are not prepared physically, mentally for the marriage. That is the big problem now. That is the divorce rate is very high now. Because they are not prepared physically and mentally also. What is the difference between physically and mentally? The incidence of cesarean section is more high now because they are not at all maintaining the physical fitness. Because most of the parents, especially they thrive the children in a very good atmosphere. They are not allowing the child to do some paints and physical exercises like this. So that is the one biggest problem. They are not prepared physically for the pregnancy itself and delivery itself. Second one is mental preparedness. Most of the times now, women, they are not prepared for the pregnancies. Everybody telling the mothers, the pregnancy is a second life. Pregnancy, most of the pregnancy now it is delivered by the cesarean only. So like that, they are giving negative inputs to the most of the parents, to the children. So that is the one reason they are not prepared mentally also. There are many things. If you take this year theme, if you consider this year theme is mental health at the workplace. This year theme is mental health at workplace. Why this year only? Because a lot of problems is because of the stress at the workplace. That the workplace stress, especially females they're more stressful than the male counterparts because of many factors. Because of there are many other things are there. Second thing is what is our role? Simple talking to the children, simple talking to the public that doing this thing, doing this thing and doing that thing, that will definitely improve the matters. For example, now the drug abuse is more prevalent in entire India, especially even Andhra Pradesh also. This drug addiction is more prevalent now. Unless you have de-addiction centers, even if you counsel the children, parents or any individuals, unless you have a de-addiction center, the problem will not be solved. simple telling the patients that you have anxiety, you are depressed, you are stressful now, that will not solve the problem. It needs what Madam told now. We require a lot of counselors, especially at the school level, so that whenever we have, many Rotarians have the schools now. So first they can implement the psychologist position in the schools, so that they can understand the children's psychology earliest, so that we can prevent the suicidal tendency also. Second thing is counseling of the mothers, especially their expectations are more now for every child. Every child they have to get the either medical seat or IIT, like that. So because of the more stress they are facing now, that itself causes the most of the problems. There are many things to discuss. I think better we can have a roadmap, so that how to overcome stress, how to overcome depression, how to overcome anxiety, how to identify the symptoms. We can design one Google form, madam. Design Google form, so that if any symptom is there, that they will tick yes, so that they will understand their mental health itself. Let us start from ourselves. Like the 21-day challenge I have given earlier, now you have covered almost 4 points among especially things to be done even to maintain the mental fitness. Unless you have a physical fitness, you cannot expect mental fitness. So physical fitness is the good cause. That is why my first 21-day challenge is for the physical fitness. Then you can do mental fitness also. There are many ways to do mental fitness also. That we want to implement in the club level, so that let us start from ourselves. Let us involve ourselves. Let us think about any problems in our family, at an individual level, so that how best we can Rotary district can do, so that we can do many things in future also. So with this few lines, I am concluding my talk. Let us see, many people can come out with good ideas also, especially for the school level, at the community level, and especially at the gated communities. Let us have some small meetings of the gated communities, even apartment levels. Let us gear up some people, especially old age people. They are facing a lot of problems. Second thing is especially for the district hospitals. Let us group of people will go there, especially for cancer institutes. Many people, if any individual, if you get sick in the hospital, admit in the ICU, imagine how much turmoil the family facing at the outside of the NICU. If you go there, counsel them. If they need any help, let us do some help, so that they can come out of this stress stages also. There are many things we can do. Only thing, ultimately, we need passion to do all the things. Thank you. Thank you, Devanand, for giving this opportunity to talk to all of you.
Thank you, sir. It was our privilege to have you. Thank you, Ravi Garu. And there are many, as suggested, there are many suggestions have come. Now let us all work together in making our District 3020 in forerunning in handling the mental health issues. Thank you all. Now, vote of thanks from Secretary Prasanna Garu.
Firstly, I'd like to thank our own club for giving such a great opportunity to the club to our own club members, as well as to the whole district. And a special thanks to PDG Ravi Vadlamani of District 3150 for having given out his wisdom to all of us, the experience that he has had with Rotary and also across his life. And I did make a lot of points that he's actually made, but to just cover a couple of them, he did mention about the disintegration of families as one of the main reasons, and of course the nuclear family system that we have today being one of the main reasons for the stress in our lives. And also he has stressed more on how Rotary itself can be a good stress buster. And he did also mention about some unique ideas coming out from Rotary Club of Nigeria about Don't Bottle, and about the Harvard University's research talking about the importance of having friends, which could bring down the stress that we all carry with us. And of course, there are many more points that I'm sure if once the recording is sent out to all of you, we could probably listen to that once again. And once again, sir, you have actually given out some of the practical ways where we as a Rotary Club could make an impact to the society. Thank you very much. And coming to the second speaker, Lenora ma'am, such a wonderful presentation that you have taken us through. And the technicalities, and it is quite visible as to the kind of experience that you carry with yourself, not just on the subject, but also while having counseled so many people over the years of experience that you've gathered. And I really love the definition that you've actually chosen for us from the WHO, and your discussion of what is the state of well-being and how we need to be looking within, not just around us. And the kind of statistics that you've actually thrown at us is mind-boggling, which clearly says that it is surely an epidemic right now, and this needs to be addressed as soon as possible. And also the role of Rotary, because Sir had spoken about how Rotary can be a part to clear this menace. You also highlighted on how Rotarians can be a part and help the society. Whosoever is in distress can come out, use us as their stress busters, and can come out of their stress. And the kind of poor mental health, the signs and symptoms, the risk factors involved, and the helpful tips that you did mention about exercise, also having a good balanced diet, staying fit, and having positive thoughts and positive interactions with people. And these are a few things which I have just made a note, and I really wish that, and I really hope that all those people who have attended this session gained so much from these two great speakers that we've had today. And as requested by the district governor, and with his push as well as with his support, and the two important things that he had also mentioned, that is about choosing between life and career, has to be mentioned here, which one needs to really focus upon. I would really appreciate if each member of the club speak to the respective presidents or the secretaries with their ideas on how we can improve the mental well-being, and how we can help the society, and bringing all the ideas together and make this a very big movement, not only for this year, but also for the years to come together. I really hope that we all make the impact that we are looking for, not just to the people around us, but also starting from within. Sincere thanks to each one of the speakers, and also all the participants to have made this program a big success. And looking forward to see all of you once again in the next session. Thank you. Good night to all of you.
Yes. Thank you.
With this, I officially declare the meeting adjourned at 8:33 p.m. Thank you all for your time and participation. Thank you very much.